Hello everyone, Genghis here, and welcome to, I don't know, T57 very close epic game / review also, because, I don't know, I figured I should maybe combine some more reviewing into these kind of games, so why the fuck not? So, matchmaking, pretty good, pretty decent, 3 tier 9s, 3 tier 10s and 5 tier 9 and the rest tier 8s, which is pretty much like what you get, I don't know, every second or third game nowadays, when you're playing tier 10s, at least depending on the time you play. And yeah, we're here on Westfield, like, matchmaking looks kind of decent, I would say, like, E5, T57 against E100, I7 basically means, especially with also the M103 and STI, right, and so on. Like, for me, this basically means I have to go to this area and win the heavy fight. If ever the enemies are stupid enough with their heavies to go, like, into the city, you know, I can stand there afterwards, hold down, and just farm them for days. But at the beginning, I don't know, I have the choice of going right there, maybe even here, in case they're peeking onto the ridgeline, right, this position, like, for shooting that, and for shooting them when they're at the crossing over there. But, I know, I decide to go here and try and get some shots in over there. RE5 being there. And yeah, that's kind of that. T57 is one of those tanks which has been around for ages, and even I have had for a long time now. I don't know how many of you guys remember the times where gold ammo for credits was like very new or didn't exist or whatever. Back then, like 3 years ago or something, T57 was just completely broken, having gun handling, I don't know, like a 62A or something. Basically. It was basically the same tank as now, was gun handling like a 62A. And was heat, you know, not being worse than APCR, was heat being just as good back then? AKA heat would not be worse against based armor and so on, right? The tank was completely broken. And it got nerfed quite a bunch after that, but, which is when I bought it, just after that huge nerf first time. But, it was still decent, like I don't know, it's been a tank which has been used for a while now, and quite recently was the HD patch. The turret got buffed quite a bit again, and you really have way more turret armor in general now. Like, okay, let's first watch this, Kipo. I have loaded heat, by the way, because I wanted to make sure, like, it's one of those games where the carry is gonna be decided at the beginning, at least most likely, right? Like, there's gonna be no point in loading heat at the end of the game against the batch at AP and a lightweight or whatever they might have left at that point. If I'm ever gonna load heat to carry this game, it's gonna be right now against the heavies right here in front of me. And yeah, as you can see, like, I decide that it's worth it to fire 2 clips of heat here. Maybe even I'm gonna end up firing 3, I don't even know. But to make sure that I carry the fight against their heavies, I don't lose too much HP even if possible. I7 bounces me. And yeah, with the 100 turning his turret towards me and dunking his shell to the ground, I start actually clipping him. And make quite sure that I put the last shell into the I7. I guess I could have killed him a bit earlier, but he was reloading anyway. So there was really no hurry there. And with that I'm able to switch back to AP. So yeah, recently the T57, since the HD buff, you have a situation where basically the turret can more or less easily, like, let's say like I3 amount of pen, get penned in this and this, these kind of cheeks. And I guess also even below the turret. But basically, what's really cool is at the top of the turret, this entire area got buffed quite a bunch, and it's very, very hard to impossible to pin, like, especially if the T57 is above you. Which makes it, in my eyes, a really strong tank. Like, obviously it's not quite a crown wagon, but especially in randoms against lower tier tanks, and also in clan wars, the mixture of just being able to take some shells because you have armor, take some shells because you have more HP, right, than a crown wagon, than a 50B, than even an I7, than a medium and so on. And at the same time you have still got insane DPM, like the T57 still is amongst the tier 10s with the most GPM out of all those in the game. The T63 has more, the STRV has more for sure, and maybe also the Rush mediums, I'm not quite sure actually, I would have to double check that. But either way, like, there's no denying that, yeah, this tank has many DPMs, Kipo. You see me pointing up my gun, by the way, right there? To make it a bit harder to pin my turret. Small detail, but on the 57 and on the 50B, turret is kind of split into 2 parts. One part that doesn't move, and one part that moves with a gun, right? Like, whereas in a Batshot, for example, or in a Yak Tiger, the turret or the superstructure never moves, just the gun would if you're aiming up and down. In the T57 and in the 50B, if you're aiming your gun up/down, in the 57 specifically, this part will also change its angle. So if you're pointing it upwards, you make your armor stronger. if you point your gun up, you're basically making the top of your tank angled backwards, and making the top of your turret and making that much stronger. Anyway, in the meantime, while all that's happening, the score is 7-8, and after pushing in there for a little bit, I decided that I want to make sure we don't lose to cap, right? You never know how that goes, and I'm coming back over here. That shell just donks, sadly, though. But yeah, the enemies still have a batch of AP alive, they still have a lightweight alive, they still have an STI behind us. Score is 8-9, we do have an Oho and a Yak Tiger pushing over there, but their Skoda was still full life, and that's definitely an issue. Skoda decides to rush the Yak Tiger right now. The Ute is killing the Oho, and I want reload, so there really isn't that much I can do about it. I go into position immediately to try and clip him. It looks like the Skoda kind of fucked up his shooting or something, and it's just circling him right now, I don't even know. And I see the 5100, and I know I have to kill him. And I managed to just about do that. So that's quite good. And this is, I don't know, really just stupid by the Skoda, right? I mean, good by me that I aimed for the track, but at that kind of aim circle size, there was as much luck as skill in actually hitting the track I was aiming for. And yeah, the double track, I guess, for the track allowed me to take out that guy after finishing off the 5100. And I guess that's pretty much probably the turning point in this game. At least that was the point in this game where it switched from being in favor of the enemy to the favor of us. Because in all honesty, like, STI down here and RT alive with, you know, this guy being a one-shot to RT, and this guy at least getting killed by one clip of the RT. If this Skoda would have been like high life, get behind us and start farming those ridge lines, we really would have been in some issues. But yeah, the STI goes in the cap, which definitely is a mistake at this point. I actually pinned him in the engine deck there. Actually quite interesting. Okay. So at this point, yeah, the question is where are the enemies? I know the Judas is probably over there. And the T10, I think, in a little bit, at least. It's going to tell me that you got shot from here at some point. So, let's put it in times 2. I'm going to go and watch chat if you want to see how I'm communicating with my team. But there's basically 2-3 options here. I can camp and wait for them to come. I could try pushing over here, which I considered, like right here, that's why I started driving in a circle. I could maybe try actually rushing down here and getting under the bridge or something, but that is risky, right? If they have a guy here instead of here, he just has my side for forever. Or if even they stay up here or whatnot. Because I am pretty much the only tank I can rely on here, right? Because in all honesty, like, the Judas outspots and one-shots both of the T10s. And otherwise they also have RT, like, that's the big issue here, like, although obviously it looks good with 3 heavies against that crap. This map is really, really open, and they really are able to cam quite strongly in the back there. The Judas has completely broken camo and enough pen to pen me, and the RT can just keep stunning me. I don't even have any optics, and so on. Anyway, I decided to go down here because I feel like this is kind of the safest avenue I've ever approached. Like, I can and probably even will take damage here. I'd expect it to get spotted even over there. I only get spotted like here in a bit. But either way, I wouldn't take too much, is kind of what I'm figuring. Especially since by going down there, like, I would mainly get penned in a T57. Whoa, I get bounced to the side. If I get shot in the side, right? As long as I'm showing my front, the Panther 2 at least would have some pretty strong problems penning me. And the Judas would bounce half-half or something maybe, especially at range. So by going down here, hugging that, since enemies which are on my side, I'm covered by the ridge and out of raw range, I'm basically forcing the enemies to be shooting me from the front if they're shooting me. Which implied more bounces than, say, if I would be rushing down here. Anyway, I decided to just push forward because I know I can kill the Judas and even the Panther before they reload, pretty much. So, like, my goal here was really to go aggressive and get to here whatever happens and just kill whatever's on the way. Because if I feel like if I play too slow, I just give the enemies time to run away, right? Like, you can probably notice, even though I got shot and spotted down there, I basically didn't stop and just kept going all the way. Because I know the enemies have more view range and more speed and so on. So say, right, I get shot by the Judas there, even though he bounces, and the Judas runs away, goes in the bush here, maybe spots me there, runs away again, while I get shot by RT 2 times. Well, not so good. Hence why I kept going so aggressive, right? And that's that. Well, I guess at this point the game is kind of over, but definitely the T57. You might have also realized in Clown Wars if you've been watching a bunch, I've been using it at least quite regularly, right? I mean, considering you would maybe think, well, there's a Crown Wagon and so on. I really think the tank is very good both in Clown Wars and in randoms at the moment. Mainly thanks to its incredible DPM. decent enough mobility, and the ability to just take enough damage that you're basically always gonna be able to reload at least once. Right, like you can get rushed by 3 mediums, even then. At 57, like the mixture of having a bit better reload, a bit more armor, a bit better into clip, right? Like so you loaded like 5 seconds earlier than a 50B, maybe 8 than a Crown Wagon. And at the same time, you have those 250 more HP and that 1 or 2 more bounces. Just end up making a huge difference, especially in Clan Wars. Like, you know, a 57 which is so down and clipping mediums driving towards him. If the mediums shoot back on the move, they're just not gonna do damage, or maybe one of them pens. Maybe with heat it gets a bit better, but like it stays in that kind of iffy area. If you have a 50B peeking on like 3 140s rushing him, and the 50Bs go down, right? Like the 140s can be on the move all they want. They're probably gonna pen him like 1 to 2 times in return each. So you end up trading like 1.6k for, I don't know, taking 3, 4, or 5 shells back from 140, so 9 to 1.5k, right? 900 to 1.5k. Oh, a 57, just that's one of its biggest advantages, really. Enemies which don't have very high pen or aim very accurately will have major issues penning you, and as long as you manage to play around that by not giving them forever to aim at you, and not, you know, picking against the hold down E3, you should have some pretty damn fun. Let's have a look at the post-game stats stuff, because yeah. We got to Radley, also thanks to, I guess, my team being quite friendly there at the end. Although I did have 9 kills. But yeah, a steel wall, a high caliber, and a top gun, ending up with 8,091 damage, the 9 kills. You know, just to point that out, and that's basically also one of the major issues in T57 is ammo loadout. You just have 36 shells in total. Out of the 30 I fired, I hit 28 and pinned 24, which definitely, like, I would not have been able to do this kind of a carry or damage if I would have been wasting more of my shots. And I think it's really one of the most, one of the most important things is stressed in my eyes recently, is how important it is to just fully aim your shots and pen them, and do damage. Ended up running 4 kilometers and blocking 2.2k. So yeah, this is not super accurate, because like when you're low on credits, Wargaming decides not to resupply your ammo and consumables. I ended up making a little bit of profit, like 20k profit after, like it was around 80k for ammo and consumables if I'm not wrong. So yeah, like 25,000 profit left, and I got a daily double with 6,300 XP with, I guess, missions and double. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like. Please tell me also in the comments if you prefer me to just focus on the gameplay or to really make it more into a tank review when I'm doing these kind of vids. And should I include the garage part or not? You know, like the part of a tank review where you sit in garage and talk about the tank stats, or on tanks.gg or whatnot, because I feel like most of the time that's just kind of boring and useless. But if you disagree, please tell me in the comments. Yeah. Anyway, thanks you enjoyed. Thanks you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Make sure you subscribe and click that fucking bell. Bye bye, genghis here.